Nice. This is my first time running with this setup. I haven't been on for a while because I had to get a new PC so my daughter can have my old PC, and I had to configure all that stuff. And today we have a special guest. This is Macy Cat. Macy Gray. Can you hear her purring? She purrs very loudly. Let me know if there's any issues, like if the audio is weird. I tried to run a bunch of tests on private streams, and I think I fixed everything. I think I even fixed all the lag issues and all the other things. This is one of my cats. I have another one. This is Macy Gray. And then we have Amy, who's our little black cat. There's a Roscoe right here, too, but I'm not going to pick him up. It just costs us a lot of money in veterinary and stuff, and if I have to pick him up and re-injure something of some sort, it's not, I don't have any money. so it'd be real bad. But and then we've got a Benny over here huffing and a puffing. I'm surrounded by the animals right now. Easy. I have to go get a drink really quick. So she's gonna be really mad. She's gonna be super upset. Say hi, big kitty. The cutest of the kittiest. So yeah. Let's see if everything works. And we're gonna stream a little bit. We're gonna talk about some Trump voter regret. We're going to watch a video that a bunch of the Canadians have asked me to watch 1,000,000 times. This one, not quite the one they wanted me to. They want me to watch the Rick Mercer talking to Americans. But this is actually, because those are like 10, 15 years old, and we will watch some of those because they look pretty funny. But the one I want to watch today is Rick Mercer talking to Americans, but also about the whole Trump trying to turn Canada into a 51st state. We got a little Fauci, because obviously big in the news right now. All the gain-of-function conspiracy theorists are losing their mind, and all the COVID conspiracy theorists are coming out of the woodworks and freaking out. So we're going to watch a little bit on that, too. And then also I want to watch an IHIP news on this Katie Miller, Eric Swalwell scandal that is going on right now. That's weird. When I get to this point where I think politics can't get any weirder. Like, if you look at all the connections between Fauci and Katie Miller, Swalwell and Katie Miller, Carolyn Leavitt being a Democrat at one point, like all the weird grifting switch connections, it's really strange. And I mean, it does make sense because when it all comes down to it, it's just here for money. They just want money, and that's really what this is all about. It's all about connection, status, and wealth, and getting yourself to a place where, you can leech off of the hardworking, blue-collar, middle-class Americans that make this country what it is. That's what it is. And, it doesn't really come as any surprise. But it has gotten pretty goddamn weird. Don't fix anything. You're here for the tech issues. Is that only because we drink when there's technical issues? Is that what it is? Speaking of, I'm gonna go grab my tea. I'm gonna pee real quick. Oh, good. Cat just got down. I have a lot of fur on me now. Oh, the dog made a mistake. The dog approached the cat. The dog now knows. Bad idea to approach that cat. She's small, but she's mighty. Okay. That cat goes outdoor and does things to other small animals that PETA would protest against. Let me just put it that way. Okay. That is a free range kitty that you guys just saw right there. And she may be small, but she puts in work. There is probably no small animal within 300 yards of my house. It's the circle of life, guys. Circle of life. Don't hate me. Don't judge me. I don't keep cats indoors. I let the cats run free. I'd let the dogs run free if they weren't such degenerates. couple degenerate Spinny, Tay-Tay. Degenerates. You can't trust them. They do actually. They get out of the house every once in a while and run around the property, and generally they just come right back up to the front door. So, I mean, they're not that bad, but they're degenerates. Definitely degenerates. All right. Let me go grab a drink, and then use the bathroom, and then we're gonna watch the videos, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna stream for a couple hours, and yeah. Hopefully the setup does not fall apart while I'm going to get a drink. Be right back. Okay. We have libations. Got some cherry limeade sparkling water. Cherry limeade sparkling water. And we have a 40-ounce bottle of black tea. Because I drink unsweetened black tea. This is my stuff right here. I can confirm was not raptured. I don't have a soul, so I don't think I can be raptured. That's right. When all of you guys are gone, I'm going to be left here. It's going to be just me and the kitties. Me and a couple cats. That's all that's going to be left over after you guys are all raptured. All right. Well, I don't have my stream deck set up. Yeah, you like that 40 ounce of tea? It's unsweetened black tea at that. Because I'm already too sweet. Okay? In the words of Bricktop from Snatch, I don't need any sugar in my tea. I'm already too sweet. You like the bookshelf? The bookshelf background is nice for when it's chair stream. When it's chair stream time, the book stream, the chair stream bookshelf. Oh God, I can't talk. Is back there. It's a much nicer background than just looking at the wall. So let's get some videos. Like I said, I don't have my stream deck set up. That's the last thing I need to do is set up my stream deck, and then we'll be able to do the sound bites and stuff like that too. So, and also I usually use this to switch over scenes on my OBS, which I don't have set up for that. So I'm going to have to just do it by hand. Just do it by hand. All right, there we go. At least it works. Let's start with some rather amusing stuff. I saw this video by Caitlin Speaks. I've never seen Caitlin Speaks before. She has 148K subscribers. And the name of this video is "These MAGA comments are embarrassing." and it's a video where she reads the comments from MAGA that are left on her posts, and I believe she corrects their grammar or something like that. But I wanted to watch this, and so let's watch some Caitlin Speaks. These MAGA comments are embarrassing. Let's see if this part works correctly.
Welcome to MAGA English, class where I teach America's proudly uneducated the only language they barely know, their own. Today, we're heading into my Facebook comment section to review homework submissions from a couple of our star students.
Oh, even better, Facebook comment section. This is where the boomers are.
Are you ready, class? Hold my hand because it's scary in there. First up, we have Ed. Ed writes, wow, this lady is smart and beautiful. Thanks, Ed. When a law enforcement officer give a order, you do what they say. I learned this in kindergarten. Oh, Ed, in kindergarten you say? Well, you don't have to tell the class that that's also where your education ended. But no fear, that's why I'm here. Now, in the English language, we have something called articles. A, N, and the. When a word starts with a vowel sound, we use an. So it's an order, not a order. Got it? Good. And as for your statement that's now corrected, when law enforcement gives an order, you do what they say. Silly Ed, my kindergarten teacher taught me that when masked men in unmarked vehicles start yelling for me to get in a car, well, I run. Stranger danger, ring a bell? But maybe it's just because little girls are taught from a very young age to be extra cautious around strange men trying to tell them what to do. Next up, we have Bob. Now everyone be nice to Bob. Not everyone has the luxury of a large gene pool. Now Bob says,
shit. Oh man, why do all these people look like this too? Like, tell me this is not a fact. All the celebrities that generally lean left are like, you know, the cool people. They're all the Green Days. They're all the circle jerks. They're all the cool people, the De Niros. And all of the people that lean right are the weirdest ass people. And right now, when I say lean right, I'm usually talking about MAGA Republicans, okay? Conservatives, we can get into that. There's a lot of closets that are closed in those areas, but they are a different breed of Republican. I'm talking specifically about MAGA Republicans. Why do they all look so weird? And why do none of them know how to form a full sentence when writing it on a YouTube comment section? I should read some of the comments that I get for you guys.
Listen, retard, they are not citizens. They do not get civil rights, they get human rights, and they are invaders. I thank you for your putting your face on this, because when the shit goes down, you're going out. Goodbye, bitch. You're a fucking traitor.
Traitor!
Bobby, I have to catch my breath after that run-on sentence without commas or periods or any other form of punctuation. But let's just focus on the last word. Traitor. Now, you must not have been paying attention in a previous class because, well, we've already covered this one. The word you're looking for is traitor. A traitor is someone who trades. For example, someone who trades their soul for a felon. And traitor is someone who betrays their country by ignoring the Constitution whenever it's convenient. For example, someone who claims that any person, including undocumented immigrants, has no constitutional protections, even though many constitutional protections apply to non-citizens as well, including, well, due process, equal protection of the laws, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, protection against unreasonable searches and seizures, and the right to an attorney, which...
This just reminds me of that meme where the kid is slamming the paper up against the window to the class, and it's like, if these kids could read, they'd be so pissed off. Like, if these MAGA Republicans could understand common sense and logic, or, you know, appreciate facts and statistics, they would be really upset. Really, really upset.
Is some attorney, which is something you might need. Well, very soon. Because before class ends, let's talk about the last part of your comment. When the shit goes down, you're going out. Goodbye, bitch. In that class, well, that's what we call a threat. Isn't it silly that people who spend all day talking about free speech are always the first to threaten someone else's when they hear an opinion that they don't like? So class, I'd like to end on this note. When a bully, whether it's a masked man with no identification, or a government, or a sad little man on Facebook tries to silence you, well, you don't shrink. You don't get quieter. Instead, you just speak louder. Have a great day, everyone, but especially you, Bob and Ed. Class dismissed.
Dude, we're gonna have to watch some more videos of her. That's here we go. I always want to make sure that we put these people's channels in the chat. That was amazing. And she's doing the Lord's work, really. At the end of the day, she's trying to do what a lot of people just don't have the patience to do, and that's educate MAGA Republicans. I mean, good job, Caitlin. That's a solid effort on your part. I have a feeling that you're going to be disappointed in the end, but hey, you're giving it the good old college try. And since none of these people have ever been to college because they think that it's a liberal conspiracy to turn everybody into communists, this is the closest to college that they're going to ever get. So good job, Caitlin. That was amazing. We'll watch some more videos by Caitlin. Go like and subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe to Caitlin. Yeah, I get some of the craziest comments. And for a long time, like I've told you guys before, I've had comments, specifically if you go back to like my earliest videos, the videos where I would watch Trump supporters get talked to by Jordan Klepper and ask questions and stuff. And, some of those videos got really popular and have thousands of comments on them. And at that point, I was still, Trump hadn't been reelected. It was kind of like, I think it was about 2023, I think was when I was beginning streaming. 2022, I think is when I began streaming. 4 years of streaming or making videos. I was making videos at that time. And I'd get comments on there, and I was actually still kind of blown away because I thought that like this was more of an anomaly. I thought like, the whole Trump supporter thing, I thought it was like gonna be just such a fringe thing, and that like it would be like when people had crazy conspiracy theories and you would just kind of laugh and you'd have a good time. And I think even if you watch my older videos, sometimes I wouldn't defend them, but I would definitely be like, this is just like your crazy uncle. This is your crazy uncle. And never thought that it was going to become what it became. And so I'd get a couple dudes that come in there and they drop some crazy ass comment. And I'd actually try to talk to these people and be like, actually, what you said is factually incorrect. And, I can show you that that's incorrect by, these statistics and this information. And, a couple people, I actually think I reached a couple of them. A couple of them were like, bro, I think I could have a beer with you and yada, yada, yada. And back then I would be like, yeah, sure, that probably wouldn't be the worst thing ever. Thank God that never happened. So naive. But I would try to engage with them in good faith. And then there'd be ones that, you'd just be like, holy Jesus, these people are insane. And that's just how I feel about all of them now. I don't even waste my time anymore. The other day I had a guy that, popped into one of my, I think it was the video on Trump having 30% approval rating. And he said, that's the fake polls. Those polls aren't even real. And I was like, that's weird because it's like all of them, all the people that do the polls say that he's super, unliked. He has a high disapproval rating. Nothing he's done is good. So that's really weird. You say they're all fake. And I just, put, you're the most aggressively gullible people that have ever existed, whatever, bro. And he said, we're the most aggressively gullible. You can't even tell me what a woman is. And I was like, he did it. He did the thing. Because this is where they're at. They've scraped the bottom of the barrel. They've had to go back. That they went back to their original talking point, and I think what I told him was, I know you only have 2 brain cells that haven't put in their 2-week notice due to abusive, environment. So please don't work them too hard trying to talk to me right now. But at the end of the day, you know, you guys just regurgitate talking points, and at this point, you're actually going all the way back and scraping the bottom of the barrel from where you guys started. And he came back with fucking exactly what I expect from a liberal. First of all, not a liberal, but okay. From a liberal, exactly what I'd expect. You insult me and you don't address the actual point I was making. And I told him, I said, look, you have no friends. You have no family. Your coworkers hate you. The only experience that you can get is coming into my chat and talking to me on this thread. You're a listless vessel. You're depressed. You know, you hate your life. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to have a conversation with you. I'm not interested in a conversation with you. It's a waste of my time, and to be honest, it's absolutely fucking exhausting. Good job, Caitlin, for trying to talk to these people. I think in the end, you're going to be disappointed. Hey, that's just how I feel about it now. I told you I tried. You guys know that have followed me for a while. No, I tried. They can't handle someone talking to them. No, just words being said in their general direction makes them feel a type of anxiety that most people don't ever experience in their life. Trying to get through the wall of stupidity past the brainwashing that Donald Trump has forced upon these people. That's a thick wall. Thick. Okay. What's happening, Sharky? How's it going? Golf was here. Yeah, Golf knows. Golf was here. You saw it, Golf. No one can say that I didn't at least make an attempt. And look, there's a couple. We still get Scott coming through here. All right. There's a couple people that I think we helped. All right. I think we helped a couple people, but the vast majority of them are still crazy as fuck. Okay. It's just they're brainwashed to the nines, and there ain't no chance they ever coming back, dude. It's a sunk cost fallacy, and as I've said many times before, when Donald Trump eats his last Big Mac, make sure to check on your Trump supporting loved ones, because if they're buying some Nikes and they got bunk beds and perhaps have access to the grape Kool-Aid, this may be their last night on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're following the Hellbop comet off into Trump Graceland. So, you know, what can you say? What can you say? I tried, guys. I like legit, like, I was like, I am from the trailer park. I am white trash. I know exactly how to talk to these people. And then what ended up happening was, I think I just got dumber. I think just the conversations between me and them just like started taking me back to the trailer park. And at one point or another, I was like, you guys are just like, there's nothing. You can say all the time, yeah, well, if you could just show me this, or if you could prove it, then I would say that you know, Trump's terrible. And like, no, we proved it over and over and over. He proves it himself every day. 2 streams suck. Well, go to the regular stream. Why are you going? Why, Mike? Listen, there's 2 streams for a reason. First, you guys complain that when you're on phones, that the stream is too squished. Okay, now you're complaining that there's a second stream, so that way the people can have the phone stream that isn't squished. It's not my fault. Go look for the horizontal stream, sir. You're on the horizontal stream. I can tell you're on the horizontal stream because of the fact that I can see your comments and it's not being streamed over here by Restream. Is Restream even working? Yeah, Restream's working. Okay. Like I said, this is my first time with this computer, so I don't. This is a virgin stream. Okay. Some of you stream. Yeah, exactly. Like the stream. You're a no-haired liberal. I'm a no-haired liberal. Oh no. They've gotten so brainwashed because they use Donald Trump's special MAGA shampoo on their heads. Rave wants 5 streams. There's actually 4 streams right now, because there's the horizontal, the vertical, the Twitch, and the Kick stream. Kick is where you go to get illicit drugs, though, so stay away from there, kids. I just have it going there just in case we ever get kicked off YouTube. You guys can come find me on Kick in the ghetto. Back in the ghetto. Yeah, the horizontal's the best. Mike, you're on the phone screen? Really? Oh, okay. Guess I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just up here to... I'm practically a boomer. I'm a zoomer. I'm a zillennial, I guess. I'm an X and millennial. Cusp-born. 4, those are rookie numbers? Yeah, I know. I know they're rookie numbers. I should be streaming on Facebook, Instagram, X. We should definitely be streaming on X so we can get the Trump trolls in here. I guarantee you stream on X, you get nothing but the worst conservatives known to man. like that's like if Kick is where you go to find illicit drugs, X is where you go to find, Epstein Island clients. I tried to go easy on Mike, okay? I know he's a mechanic. All right? 60? Golf's turning 60 next month. That's what I'm talking about. I'm almost 50, Golf. I'm right behind you. Only a decade. I'm almost there. I'm trying to stay healthy, stay young. Still working out. Let's see. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is some Trump voter regret. Okay. Some people have figured out how bad things are right now, and they're starting to regret some things. So this was a guy whose fiance was detained by ICE at Bush Airport, and this dude voted for Trump. So let's watch this, and then we've got another video after that we're also going to watch too. So stay tuned for that one. This is the guy at the airport. You guys might have already seen this.
By ICE agents carrying out President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration hit an all-time high last month. Now, many of those detainees were picked up at airports, including one woman who was detained at Bush Airport. Camilo Montoya Galvez spoke with her fiance.
Hold on. What was her name?
Her fiance. Camilo Montoya Galvez spoke with her
Kimiloa Montez Galvez. You better be careful. Don't go to an airport with that name.
fiance.
I voted for Trump. I am saying that they
Tell me
are
if the video's not
picking
loud
up
enough.
law-abiding citizens. They're destroying families, jobs.
John Gannon is a 75-year-old businessman and lifelong Republican who...
This guy, a month ago, would have told you that the immigrants in this country are stealing your jobs, they're taking educational spots away from children, they're murdering joggers. This guy 1 month ago, before the stove burnt him, would have told you that these documents all need to be deported.
John Gannon is a 75-year-old businessman and lifelong Republican who supported President Trump in 2024.
I wouldn't do that again, not after this fiasco.
His fiancée, 45-year-old Venezuelan immigrant Yasmin Suarez Reyes, was detained by ICE at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston in late July.
8 ICE agents swarmed Jasmine and detained her.
He thought she was safe because her name was Jasmine. Brother, you got to remember, most of these Trump supporters and ICE agents are educated at the level of a small child. Therefore, they're like Aladdin, Jasmine, Aladdin, foreigner, deported.
Detained her, didn't tell us why, and rustled her off into a car.
When you saw that unfold, what went through your mind?
Well, I was just in total disbelief.
According to her immigration lawyer, Suarez Reyes...
He thought it would have never happened to him. Maybe the other immigrants, or the other immigrants that were married to other people, but definitely not... What? Hold on. First of all, what is up with that dog? Did the dog get deported too? That's a happy ass looking dog. All right, I gotta say that they look like they do take good care of that dog. That's a Trump dog. Yeah, exactly. It looked like the Trump emoji. Yeah.
just came to the U.S. legally in 2023 and later applied for asylum, a case that is still ongoing. But her underlying permission to be in the U.S. has lapsed.
Some people may say this is what mass deportations look like.
They're not going after the hard guys. That's too difficult.
I've got so many jokes to make about that. Let me tell you, they are going after the hard guys. It's just not the ones you're thinking, all right? Josh Hawley loves himself a hard guy, okay? He finds them, he goes after them, mostly, allegedly, bus boys.
It's easier to pick them up at the airport. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Suarez Reyes was arrested as part of a recent crackdown by ICE at airports across the country.
ICE is here, help us!
Back in Texas, Gannon says he deeply misses his fiancée, who remains in ICE custody, facing deportation.
Jasmine's good as gold.
Bro, you know what the terrible part about this is? There's a lot that's terrible about this, actually, is that most people that are on the left, even if your like main like first thought is like this guy fuck around and found out, right? Even with that, there's still a part of you that thinks like this is wrong. There's still a part of you that has empathy that says like, well, yeah, man, we tried to tell you. Sure, most of us are gonna, laugh at your ass. We're gonna say you got what you voted for. We're gonna say you didn't give a shit until it came to your front door what was happening to other people. But even after all of that, you know what separates people on the left from people on the right? It's the fact that even with all that being said, they still don't think that your wife or your fiance should have been deported. They still think that she should have the same rights as everybody else that they believe are good people. She is being deported, and that is not acceptable, but it's not because she's married to this man. It's because the way that they're going about deporting these people is unacceptable. It's crazy, because the only time that these people cared about any of this is when it finally showed up on their front door and they were affected by it. It's crazy.
Love Jasmine.
Aw. Let's get that on repeat.
Love Jasmine. That's it.
Well,
in a statement to KHOU 11, the Department of Homeland Security said in part, quote, "This administration is working diligently to ensure that aliens in our country illegally can no longer fly unless it is out of our country to self-deport."
Bye, Felicia. Nope. Stop it. Stop it.
You don't have to be a bleeding heart.
Oh, speaking of. I thought it was El Sayed for a second. Pete Buttigieg is looking really tan nowadays. Like I said, man, if you want people to not do the things that Donald Trump is doing right now, then why would you vote for Donald Trump? He didn't lie to you. Like, the one thing that you can say about Donald Trump is he's doing what he told you he was going to do. You can't act like this was like disguised, like we didn't know. They literally had signs that said mass deportation. Deport them all. Like, once again, it's just you didn't think it was going to happen to you. You don't think that your rights will ever get taken away. You don't think that the people that work with you that are immigrants, that you enjoy their company, that those people are going to be the ones that get deported. You don't think that it's your fiance that's going to be deported. You don't think that it's your grandmother that's going to get fired from working at the IRS after 40 years because Doge decided that AI can do her job better than she can. You never think that's you. And at the end of the day, you voted for this. And you can't even say that you didn't understand, because he didn't lie. He told you exactly what he was going to do, and you thought it was a great idea. You voted for it, and now your fiance has been deported, and you're crying like a little bitch. How about you think this guy is going to vote with his conscience next time? No. He hasn't learned any lessons. This man isn't going to go and vote for, the next, progressive candidate. He's not going to vote for Zohran Mamdani. He's not going to vote for El Sayed. He's still going to say the same stupid tropes that he's been saying long before he got his own fiance deported, because this is his fault. He did this shit. He voted for it. You can't blame anybody but yourself, sir. And I'm telling you this right now, this man's not changing his opinions. He's not going to vote differently or vote for a progressive or vote for even a liberal or Democratic candidate that doesn't want to see his, fiance get deported. He's still going to go out. He's still going to vote Republican. He's still going to vote for people that he thinks represent him, and they don't. Just like Lindsey Graham voted against his own kind for his entire life until he died. Just like many closeted LGBT Republicans vote against the people that represent them in society every day of the week. It's crazy. So we got one more. One you guys probably seen it because, like I said, I'm only on here every once a week nowadays. So there's one more I have here, and this is actually from MS Now. This video is from MS Now, and this is actually quite a few different MAGA Republicans crying over the high gas prices in Ohio and all of the things that they're now experiencing after voted for these things, and now they're having to experience them.
America feel great again?
No, not at all. I can get laid off tomorrow, then I'm pretty much homeless. Because, you can't save now. Every dollar you have has to go to gas, groceries, bills, rent.
Does America feel great again?
Not in the way everyone wanted. With gas prices, and you can't afford to breathe at this point.
What does it feel like to be living in these conditions right now, in these economic conditions right now?
Hurt, very hurt. I try to do, sorry, I cried. I try to do a lot for my kids, and I can't do much.
It's hard, especially as a father, because you ain't got that extra cash to go and spoil your kids. So
this man is so broke he is wearing a Dr. Pepper shirt.
It's pretty difficult.
The middle class is definitely being affected. Yeah, low class might as well, crawl in a hole because they can't afford anything. Drill, baby, drill just didn't go. I don't think
You still can't.
You don't say. You mean to tell me that a man just saying 3 words laced together in a way that makes you feel like your 3 short grunts are getting taken care of? You're telling me that someone coming out with the slogan "Drill, baby, drill" that didn't work out? I am mystified.
Can't beat inflation, no matter what. Well, it seems we never catch up, no matter what. We're always behind the 8 ball.
Does America feel great again?
You don't say. And how many times do these people have to touch the fire? How many times do they have to hear this man come out on stage, tell them that the economy is better, tell them that the Iran war isn't a war, tell them that, jobs are the best they've ever been, tell them that unemployment doesn't exist and these immigrants have taken their jobs and yada, 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 all of these things, and they'll still vote for him? I bet you every single one of these. You know what I like about like the Good Liars and Jordan Klepper is they'll ask them after they get done crying about this stuff. They'll say, so would you vote for him again? And they'll stop for a second. They'll go, probably. Like if you ask these people, and for all of my lefties that are watching right now, keep it down. Keep it down. Because I know what you guys are going to say. If you ask these people, if you go, should you have voted for Kamala Harris? Every once in a while, well, no, it would have been worse. It would have been worse. No, it fucking wouldn't have. No, it wouldn't have. Kamala Harris, if you actually look into the things that she did as the AG for California, you can see all the times that she worked for consumers, all the times that she held people accountable, corporations accountable as the AG for California. If you look at Donald Trump's history, Okay? There is nothing in his history that is evidence of that man standing up for normal middle-class people. In fact, there is plenty of evidence to show that if you are a middle-class person that potentially has worked on one of his buildings in the construction area, that he will actually screw you over and make sure that you don't get paid. If you worked in his casinos that were bankrupted, did he do you any favors? If you went to his universities that are found to be frauds, did he do you any favors? If you were a part of his foundation that was literally found to be doing such fraud that now he's not allowed to participate in the state of New York, did he do you any favors? Did when he took your money because he needed it so bad to get elected and then used it to enrich himself to the tune of multiple billions of dollars, do you think he had your best interests in mind then? Which point did Donald Trump come through for you on? Was it the Doge checks? How about the tariff checks? Shit, even the tariff refunds. Have you seen any of those? Has he abolished the income tax? Did that happen? Did all of a sudden you start getting more money in your check because he's gotten rid of all these immigrants? He's screwing over Medicare. He's destroying, everything that we as a people gained in the 40s, 50s, and 60s through socialist policies. So obviously now your check must be double what it was. You must be making so much money now, because isn't that what he promised you? We're all going to get wealthy. This is going to be the golden age. Gas is going to be cheap. Groceries are going to be affordable. Energy is going to be cut in half. The Ukraine war is going to be solved in a day. The Strait of Hormuz is going to be open again. Did any of those things come true? At what point are these people going to actually come out and say, look at all this shit that happened to us, this was bad, and then when somebody asks them a question, would you vote for Donald Trump next time? When is it finally going to happen that these people are going to go, you know what? No. And you know what the follow-up question for that should be? Who do you think you should vote for? Who do you think does have your best interests in mind? And if that answer doesn't involve somebody with more than 3 brain cells that believes in social safety nets, that actually believes in a strong middle class, and wants to see people taken care of on the level that literally we all exist outside of their bubble, then you're still a moron. Legit still a moron. Like, if you can't answer that shit. I call it the Midas touch etch. Trump has the Midas shit touch, where everything he touches turns to shit, I guess. I call it the Midas touch. That's what I call it. Full mega once, shame on them. Full mega twice, you can't be fooled again. Wally, sorry, I didn't mean to trigger you. All of my shirts actually come from work too. That was a mean comment for me. I should have never went there. I know better than that. All of my shirts come from somebody at my job that has given them to me because I'm a cheap bastard. All right. I stopped talking to my parents when my dad looked at me with a straight face and said prices are down in 2025 after listening to him talk every week about how much more expensive food is. You know, that's a good transition, actually. That's a solid transition, because you guys know how much I like to talk about groceries. Are you guys ready? Are you ready for me to talk about groceries? I should probably have a swig of some tea before I get to this. Let's talk about this grocery thing that RFK Jr. is attempting to do right now. You can feed your whole family for less than $5, or I guess it's per person. So a family of 4, allegedly, you should be able to feed them for $20 a day, right? Or $20 a meal. So what is that? 3 meals a day, $60. So he's saying only $1,800 worth of groceries a month, guys. $60 a day. So right? Like, am I doing that math wrong? $5 a person, family of 4. Right? Family of 4, $5 a day, 3 meals a day. That's 20, 40, 60 times 30 on average, right? We have months that are 30 and 31, but let's say on average 30 days. That's $1,800 a month. So first of all, let's just start there. Let's start with that. I don't know how many of y'all are out there are making enough money to cover $2,000 in groceries a month. But this is where we're at. So I want to watch this video, which is Donald Trump, or I'm sorry, RFK Jr. has told people that they can make fish cakes for under $5. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. Maybe he's saying it's $15 a day to feed a family of 4. It's just too stupid for me to even wrap my mind around. And being a person that works in grocery, it just drives me absolutely fucking batshit. So here you go. You guys ready for this?
Learned in California, kids can't sue you, so that's helpful.
Wait, hold on.
I've also learned in California, kids can't sue you, so that's helpful.
That's a wild ass way to start this video.
And look, we've got the
late last month, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. started a new YouTube cooking series called Real Food Show.
Welcome to the Real Food Show.
The aim of it, according to HHS's website, is to make healthy eating practical, affordable, and approachable. Each episode features a new recipe. It's supposed to be easy and
under $5.
Less than $5 a serving. Today, we're gonna do crispy salmon cake.
Okay, so am I getting that wrong? He's saying $5 a serving, right? Like that's per person, right?
With apple, white bean, and green salad.
Bro, what poor person is eating? Hold on, what poor person is eating what we just saw?
Bobby Kennedy is right, and people can afford to eat a 15-ingredient meal with things like nutritional yeast. They should be able to do it here at the Western Beef in Mott Haven.
Some cider vinegar.
First thing, it's $3.79. Avocado mayo, specifically avocado mayo.
Avocado oil mayo right here.
It is $8.99.
Oh, and I added the Dijon mustard.
Here's French's, $3.99. Not bad. The recipe says you have to get kosher salt specifically, so I'm getting this, and it is $2.79.
And another element that people don't necessarily talk much about is nutritional yeast.
Apparently this is supposed to taste like cheese or something. I never heard of her. $7.99. Damn, $7.99 for whatever the fuck this is. You have to use an egg for a binder. I'm gonna get the organic one in accordance with Secretary Kennedy's wishes. $5.79. Frozen salmon, as per the directions, it's $14.99, and that's for 1 pound. We need 1.5 pounds, so we're gonna have to buy 2 of these. So total, it's gonna be like $30. Keep in mind that this was supposed to be
under $5
a serving for 4 servings, so we're already $10 over just with the salmon. We have to get olive oil, WWBD, what would Bobby do? USDA organic, extra virgin, in a glass bottle, $10.99. Canned white beans, so we're gonna get this brand of Latink's origin, $1.67 each. And we only need 1, so not bad. The recipe says greens, but they're using arugula.
Arugula and green apple salad to go along with this.
We're getting this, $6.99. 1 lemon, they're 4 for $3. I don't know what the math is on that, but I think it's like $1 something.
I'm having so hard of a time not saying something to all of this. I'm up. We'll just keep watching. I'm trying not to interrupt.
We also need to get a red onion. So we also have to get panko.
Panko breadcrumb.
In the video, they were like, oh, you can make it yourself. I'm not doing all that. $3.29. We also have to get a green apple for the salad. This is $2.49 a pound. The recipe also calls for fresh thyme. There's only 1 bunch left, and it was really gross looking. So I'm getting this freeze-dried thyme. It is $6.99. All right, we got everything. Let's go check out. So the grand total is $98.59. That's like $24 a serving.
Under $5.
Crazy.
All right. And I got to talk about this now. So a couple things. I work in a health food store. I've been in the health food industry for over 20 years. I've been in the grocery industry for over 20 years. I've been in leadership for over 20 years. I can tell you this. First of all, good luck being poor and being near a store that offers the type of products that RFK Jr. thinks that you should be. And when I say poor, by the way, I'm talking about middle class people that offers these products. In a health food store, if you're buying like real good olive oil in a health food store, that's not $10.99. you're talking more like 16 or 20, because right now Spain is going through massive amounts of drought, and the majority of our olive oil is sourced from Spain. Products that are sourced from California, which is another place that we get olive oil from. Specifically, we get a lot of avocado oil from California. Those products are also very, very expensive. The one thing I will point out, a couple things in that video that I will disagree with, but it's not going to knock the video, to be honest with you. It's just going to take down that total a little bit. Fresh bunch of thyme would have probably cost about half what it costs for that bottle of thyme. The nutritional yeast that he bought, Bragg's nutritional yeast, you can generally find it in bulk, but it's not going to be Bragg's. It's usually going to be like a Red Star. So you could probably reduce that by a couple bucks. The arugula that he bought also, you don't necessarily need to buy a packaged product because a lot of grocery stores carry it in bulk as well, so you could have bought bulk. But even with that all being said, you're still talking 90s, and to be honest with you, I think that, like I said, he's buying like French's Dijon mustard. That's gonna be a lot cheaper. Avocado mayo, I saw you bought Hellman's. Like, if you're buying like a good brand like Chosen, you're talking real expensive. Like for her 32 ounce, dude, you're talking $16 for a 16 ounce. Like, good luck with $10 for a 32 ounce. Like, I mean, if you go to a nice co-op and buy all of the things that he bought while he was there, you're leaving at $150. Like, $98 is actually a pretty good job on his part, and he still kind of, in my opinion, did things in a way that I probably wouldn't have. But even if you just take into account the fact that, sure, somebody has access to these groceries, which, like I said, is actually really hard when you're in impoverished areas, because things like organic foods don't sell in those areas, so they don't stock them. They're very expensive. So even if you have access to the products and then you buy those products, once again, we need to get to a point where we talk about what is real and what is not. You can't afford, as far as time costs goes, to prepare meals like that. Also, good luck getting a 10-year-old to eat salmon fillets if they've never been a fish person. Fish cakes or whatever he called it. There's so much wrong with this video. Like, I work in the grocery industry. You are spending easily upwards of $300 every 5 to 6 days as a family of 4 on groceries, if not more. And like I said, the math don't even math. He's still talking about spending $1,800, which is more than I'm telling you would be spending on a month's worth of groceries. And you could say, oh, well, he's saying, eat oatmeal and cereal for breakfast. Is that healthy? Or is eating like eggs and, avocado and fresh tomatoes and, some sourdough toast? Is that, because we're talking about being healthy and eating. We're not talking about like this is the Secretary of Health. We're not supposed to be saying like just eat shit. If we did, we'd be saying like, here, I can put together a menu of Taco Bell foods for $5 a meal. Like that's the whole point, is you're supposed to be able to eat healthy. I saw, what is his name? Old one-eyed himself, fucking Odin. What's his name? Dan Crenshaw. That people should be eating ramen. How much nutritional value does ramen have? If people are telling you that the economy is good, and if you don't like it, you should eat like you're poor. There's something wrong with that statement. Just like so much about this video that I'm just like, RFK Jr. is a moron. I've said this before. He's a frat boy. The biggest difference between him and Donald Trump is that I think Donald Trump 100% knew the scam, and he was looking to just fleece Americans on his way out the door, to give his family a bunch of money, give himself a bunch of money, build himself a bunch of statues, all that bullshit. RFK Jr., I'll be honest with you, I think he does keg stands in the morning and then goes to work and just like acts like a frat boy chasing down snakes in his driveway and shit. Like, I just think he's a moron. Well, I think Trump's a moron too. It's the whole goddamn administration's filled with morons. It's absolutely insane. Is nutritional yeast alive? I think it is. Or is it a live product? I'm not sure about that. I don't like nutritional yeast. I think it tastes like crap. It's supposed to taste like cheese. It smells really weird. Did you buy any protein? Yeah, he bought the salmon. The salmon's protein. At the Low Country Market, buy the stuff you want so that they will order it again or keep ordering it. Yeah, If you want something in a store, you better buy it. Single source baby, only way to go. Yeah, I agree. Steel cut oatmeal. Yeah. Brenda, RFK Jr.'s trying to tell me he says I should be eating fish cakes, Brenda. What's nutritional yeast, Brenda? He says I'm supposed to put this on my popcorn, Brenda. RFK Jr.'s telling us to drink raw milk again, Brenda. I don't even know what that is. What you mean we got raw milk? This is spoiled milk. Yeah, Hot Pockets. Like, I mean, you might as well be telling people about Hot Pockets. Hot Pockets, you might actually be able to do that. Hot dogs and bologna. There you go. Let's just be real. Well, Mike, I take that. Those 2 joules. Thank you for those. I still don't know what that means. Ramen is surprisingly high in protein. All right. I didn't know that. I'm betting it's also surprisingly high in sodium, which is not good for your heart. Yeah, RFK Jr., this is the problem. It's a bunch of poor people, impoverished people. Once again, when I say poor people, I mean blue collar and below. I mean middle class and below. And to be honest with you, the upper middle class is the middle class now. So I'm talking about everybody. We all poor now. When I'm saying poor people, I mean everything below that. Okay. Donald Trump and RFK Jr. and the rest of the people in his administration have never had to live this life. When I was poor, when I was homeless, we ate out of trash cans. We would go to like a store, like a Safeway or something, and they'd have a big trash can, like a big, it's like a trailer, right? And we would just literally jump in there and take old sandwiches, old thrown away bread. I bet that's a lot different nowadays because of how many people like donate their products and stuff like that. But we go to there's this sandwich place that they'd wrap sandwiches and then they'd try and sell them on the counter. They'd make fresh sandwiches, but they'd also wrap them and put in their refrigerators. And whenever they got done with their day, they would just throw them all in the trash. And that was the prime spot right there. That was a prime spot because like it wasn't product that was touching other trash. Like it was wrapped up, so you could get that shit out of the trash can, and it was still like pretty good to go, slightly warm. There was speaking of McDonald's and stuff like that. There's a guy in our neighborhood that this was when we were living out in the desert in Nyland in Slab City. So neighborhood is a relative term, but we kind of had this U-shaped horseshoe, this horseshoe shape of trailers that we pulled up in the desert. And there's one dude who would go to the little town next to Slab City, I believe it's called Nyland, and he'd go to the McDonald's there, and they would throw all of their stuff in the trash. And when they're when it temped or whatever, not temped, when it was past its however long it's supposed to be out. And so they'd throw it away. So he would show up in the morning and he'd walk around with a box full of McDonald's that had been thrown away. And I shit you not, to this day, I remember looking in there and seeing fish sandwiches and being like, oh, that's not a good idea. Gonna pass on that fish fillet. Even starving and poor, I was like, nah. Fish fillet normally seems a little sketchy. Okay. But what I'm getting to is saying that, like, we would eat, like, when we did buy stuff, it was just beans and rice. And for a little bit, we lived in a camper next to a little river, a little stream, not a river, a little stream. And, we'd campfire and cook pots of beans and rice. And it'd just take all day. I remember my mom would they'd build a little fire and put the pot on, and they put it on at the beginning of the day. And like by nighttime, it would be ready to go or whatever. It'd take all day long. Down by the river, not in a van. We did not own a van. I've lived in a car next to the river, and I've lived in a camper. That was high living. It was when we had the little camper. That was when things got good. But just my point being is that, like, when you're telling people to that it's easy to do these things, it was never easy, man. Like, life was a struggle every day. And I do think that, people do need more struggle in their life. I think people need healthy adversity, but that was unhealthy adversity. I don't look back at those times and miss them. and I was a kid even. You know, beans and rice are great. Yeah, you want to just put some. Yeah, look, I mean, at the end of the day, if you guys want to know what my favorite meals are, it's steak, potatoes, and bread. It's chicken, rice, and broccoli. Like those are like I eat whenever if I live by myself, if I didn't cook for everybody else, and like I could cook the same things pretty much every day, I'd probably cook rice, broccoli, and chicken every single day. And that's not super expensive. I do like a free range chicken. I like an organic chicken. I think factory farm stuff is gross, but and I do like a Lumberg rice, like a good eco-friendly rice. So you're talking about some more expensive stuff, but you can buy cheap stuff. This is how I know that they've never been poor. Like you don't tell a poor person, yo, if you want to like save money, you should go get some salmon patties and some nutritional yeast. That's not what you would tell them. You lived in a tent for most of 2016, Christine. You know. Then, like we lived in some campgrounds too. Yeah, like I said, I lived in Slab City. If you've never seen Slab City, we should watch a video again on Slab City. It's a crazy ass place. It's different now. Apparently, people go there for fun and stuff. Well, fun. Fun. When I was a kid, you went there because you had warrants. All right, let's watch some more videos. Let's not just listen to me yap. What else were we gonna watch today? Why don't you guys watch this? Speaking of RFK Jr. Speaking of RFK Jr. I saw this video called 60 Seconds. It's a satire on 60 Minutes. And this video is called Medicine with RFK Jr. And apparently it's a chimpanzee talking to RFK Jr., which seems like it's probably on his level.
Mr. Secretary, let's discuss this year's measles outbreak.
We have measles outbreaks every year.
But this one is the worst in 35 years.
Did you know the word measles is derived from the word measly, meaning nothing to worry about?
None of that is true.
Look, I've watched enough YouTube videos to know something isn't right.
What's your current stance on the vaccine?
I endorse it.
Okay, so...
For anyone that wants to experience life on the spectrum.
So you don't recommend it?
Of course I do.
Okay, so...
For people won't mind their bodies combusting from the inside out.
Right. In the past, you said natural immunity was preferable and vaccines were not safe and effective.
You're twisting my words.
I'm quoting them. You said, quote, there's no vaccine that is, safe and effective. End quote.
My opinions are allowed to change.
But should HHS guidelines be based on your opinions?
Someone needs to be asking these questions.
No, not really.
Americans deserve informed consent.
Great. So let's find them someone who's informed.
I've been studying biology my entire life.
Dissecting roadkill isn't exactly evidence-based medicine.
I believe in doing my own scientific research.
But your scientific curiosity seems exclusively focused on things that are already dead.
Well, I'm not going to remove an animal's penis while it's still alive.
I can't believe this is where we are right now.
And that's exactly why the media is to blame. What channel are you even on?
We're actually on YouTube.
Oh, then you must be a pretty credible news organization.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm a talking chimpanzee, but yeah, I suppose we are. Follow us for daily satire and...
That is amazing. Tell me which part of that video wasn't true. Tell me which part of that video wasn't true. I love the part where you said, measles is derived from the word measly, therefore we shouldn't have to worry about it. That sounds exactly like something that RFK Jr. would say. Do you think Idiocracy could have predicted this? Like that we would have like a YouTube educated HHS secretary. I guess that's redundant. Oh no, Health Human Services. That's not redundant. HHS secretary. Educated through YouTube and roadkill. And also, can we just say this? First of all, that chimpanzee, he needed to be worried. Okay? Haters will say it's AI. I don't know if his part was AI. The chimpanzee, definitely AI. But I don't know. Those answers might have been straight from an actual interview, to be honest with you. Just throwing it out there. But what I was going to say is that chimpanzee's in danger. Somebody should check in on that chimpanzee and make sure that it's still alive and has its penis. But can we say this? is that, look, if you have one weird animal story in your history, we're gonna look at you a little sideways. Like if you're hanging out with your bro, right? And you're like, man, the other day I was at the beach at Santa Cruz and it was a beautiful day and the waves were amazing and the wind was nice and there was a lot of beautiful people having a good time. And your buddy goes, oh yeah, I remember the last time I was in Santa Cruz. Last time I was in Santa Cruz, I found this well. This well was on the beach shore, and I cut its head off, and I threw it on top of my car my children were in, and I put plastic bags over my kids' heads so that way the juices from the wellhead didn't leak down on top of them, and then we drove for a really long time. Like, if you said something like that, most of the time, or if your buddy said something like that, you'd look at him and you'd be like, bro? That's a weird ass story. Were you high? Were you on drugs? Were you drunk? And if you didn't answer any of those questions, we're not friends anymore. But if you're like, yeah, I had a lot to drink that day. It was a crazy time. Crazy time. We're like, okay, all right. Like, if you have one story like that, we just kind of side eye you and we don't go to the beach with you, right? Like, I'm not letting you anywhere near a dead well carcass after you told me that story. But then when you're like, oh yeah, and there's this other time I did this thing with a bear. Oh yeah, and there's this other time that I did this thing with a raccoon, dead raccoon and his penis. Wrote about it in my journal, actually. Want to read it? Like, how many people out there have multiple stories about doing things with dead animals? And to follow that up, how many of those people were made the HHS Secretary of the United States of America? I'm going to say that has only happened once in our history. One time! Like, what the fuck is going on in this country, dude? Dude. What's happening, James? Is he really a YouTube educator? Is he one of the few souls who still uses Daily Motion? Hylian! That's a solid question. That's a solid question. Oh, you know what? I'm not streaming this on Twitch or Kick right now. Whoops! Should we start it now? I don't think I can start it in the middle of all this. We're going to leave it alone. Sorry, Twitch people. Sorry, Kick people. Today you guys don't get streams. Apology. Also, Nightbot keeps telling people to join the Discord. There is no Discord. I had to get rid of it because it was causing some issues in the background where a kid got hacked. Fell for a scam, unfortunately, and after that, there were some real issues with that Discord. So one day I may put the Discord back together. I know some people used it to notify them when I went live. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of something to help you guys out, to tell you guys when I go live, because I know YouTube's whole algorithm thing is screwed, and most of the time people don't see it when I go on live anyway. So, but I will figure that out. Jesus Christ. So much work. That happened to me. Squash chat dude? Squash chat dude? Is it squashed? It could be. Wait, I haven't looked at any of this stuff to make sure that it's working correctly. You can follow me over on Twitch. We will be asking for help, some of our allies soon. Let's see if we have... No, we're not getting any help from anybody. No one's coming to help us. You know that saying, it's like nobody's coming to save us but us, or however that goes. We are legitimately in that right now. Speaking of, you guys always give me the best segues. Speaking of nobody coming to save us, Rick Mercer, all of my Canadians over there constantly tell me, you need to watch Rick Mercer talking to Americans. A lot of the Rick Mercer talking to American videos are really old, like 15 years old, and we are going to watch some of those and react to some of those soon. But I thought that this was a very good introduction. This video right here is Rick Mercer talking to Americans, but it's an interview with Rick Mercer, and he's talking about Trump talking about the California, or I'm sorry, I wish California would be the 51st, or part of Canada, about Canada becoming the 51st state of America. I don't know how to function here. So this is Rick Mercer talking to Americans, 51st state rhetoric.
It's what I do. I've done 3 stand-up tours. I've done other national tours. It's something I like doing very much. But I think the time is right for this. You know, these are very interesting times.
And if you don't know this, Rick Mercer, he's like, you know, he did Jordan Klepper, but to all Americans, and also a lot more highbrow. Like, he is a comedian, but like he just kind of like asks questions that Americans could be able to answer or should be able to answer, and he just kind of exposes almost everybody. He's obviously not going after Democrats or Republicans. He's just talking to Americans, period. And I did watch a little bit of one of the Talking American videos, and to be honest, I think he could get me as well. But just to give you a little backstory on who this guy is, this is Rick Mercer, and he is a stand-up comedian. And I believe he worked for the CBC on his show Talking to Americans.
Times that Canada is in right now. It's for the first time. You know, these are very interesting times that Canada is in right now. It's for the first time, you know, another nation is threatening our sovereignty. There's a lot of confusion out there. You know, we you know, our greatest trading partner is suddenly no longer our friend, being very aggressive. That said, that has permeated almost every aspect of our lives, but it actually hasn't impacted my act at all. Like, I'm doing the same act. I decided a long time ago that everything I do was going to be celebrating the country. And I'm not saying that's the only way forward, because a lot of comedy comes from tearing things down. That's just not my lane. I chose to go a different lane. So I've always celebrated the country, and I think people are in the mood for that now. And I'm really looking forward to getting out there and doing my part on the road. Talking to Americans, you know, it really was one joke over and over again, but it was a joke that Canadians really enjoyed. But I'll tell you the truth, the first time I did it, and it was a total fluke, it was just something that happened at the end of a shooting day. I had no idea that it would turn into the segment that it became, or the TV special that came about as a result. And I always felt a little guilty.
Dude, this is like, you can parallel this with Jordan Klepper, dude. You can definitely parallel this to exactly what Jordan Klepper says about going to the Trump rallies, and how it all kind of started with just thinking it was a joke. Same reason that this YouTube channel started, that, like, you know, I just came on here thinking that I was just making jokes about people that had some wild ass conspiracy theorists about all kinds of things, and how it like just became such a bigger thing. There's definitely a lot of parallel here.
Because I always thought I was relying on the kindness of Americans, because I would often say, hey, do you have a moment for television? They'd say, nope. And I'd say, for Canadian television? They'd go, oh, of course. Like, there was this incredible feeling of goodwill and generosity towards Canada as a whole. Now, these were different times. Nobody ever saw that in the United States. So I always felt a little bit guilty, but I was aware that, by and large, Americans knew nothing about Canada, but they did know we were the neighbors, and they wanted to be only generous and kind to the neighbors. And that has clearly changed somewhat. People are very suspicious of Canada. I think Americans are more suspicious of everyone, and both inside their country, their neighbors, and then outside of their country as well. I don't think you could do that segment today. I mean, there's a million people doing very successful man or woman on the street segments in the States and all over the world. No one's doing anything quite like what I was doing.
I would love to see him do a Talking to Americans right now. I think that would be absolute gold. Absolute gold. I think you should come with security, but I think it would be absolute gold.
Many people did it after. You know, Jay Leno used to do it. I think it would, yeah, I don't think you could do it now. Yeah. Also, people are more, I can't believe I've reached a point where I'm old enough to say, well, it was a different time, but it was a kinder, gentler time. When people saw me, a young man at the time, in a suit and the big camera and the camera operator and my producer with a clipboard, they never thought in a million years this could be a comedy show. They just thought we're the news, and the news is to be trusted.
Don't leave the door open.
They were very different times. Well, I always thought Canadians were too quick to look down our nose at America in many ways. We were a bit holier than thou for a little too long. And I don't think Americans were aware of that, because they're just not that in tune to our thinking. But there was a bit of that in Canada, and when you do talk about the Canadian identity, if you want to have that conversation about what it means to someone to be Canadian, you really got to dig, because the first thing the first thing that 9 out of 10 Canadians will do is they'll start talking about how we're different than Americans, which is no way to define yourself. But that's our default. Well, we're not them. And that's been my life's work in many ways. This whole what does it mean to be a Canadian thing, and what are the similarities when you go from region to region. What's happening in the country now? People are standing in the middle of drugstores Googling what's a Canadian toothpaste. And they're reading labels in the ways that they've never read before. And they're making choices about whether they'll eat a kiwi fruit. That's new. But I think it's always been there. Canadians...
Yeah, it was Pinkerbell that just said it, right? Congratulations to Donald Trump for inspiring a historic rise in patriotism in Canadians. Like, you know, there are things that I've said it before, there are silver linings to Donald Trump being the president. You know, most of them are really painful lessons that Americans are learning, and really painful lessons that Canadians are learning and the rest of the world are learning right now. And, you know, one of them is that Canadians are learning that they can subsist without America. Like, not that they ever like thought, oh, we need America, but I think that for a long time they enjoyed their relationship with America. Most of the Canadians that I see over there on the Funny Clips channel, they all like, you know, kind of wish that things were the way they were under every other president other than Donald Trump. Most of them are rooting for us. Most of them want like America to overcome this bullshit. They're just kind of like, they're done. They're over, you know, trying to help, just like most of us are over trying to help, you know, MAGA Republicans come back to reality. Canadians are also, you know, very much over trying to get Americans to you know, recognize that Donald Trump is a horrific human being and the worst, not president, worst leader in global history. I mean, there is, you know, plenty of people out there that did horrific crimes to humanity when it comes to, you know, genocide, or when it comes to like physical stuff. Donald Trump, the effect that he's having on the globe right now, economically, with the Strait of Hormuz being closed, economically, and as far as humanitarian aids go, when you come to like Doge cutting USAID, in my opinion, he is causing more harm to the globe than almost any other world leader that has ever existed. He's top 5 at least.
You know, we're a proud country. There's no doubt about it. We've never beat the drum and said we're number one. And I don't think that that's because we're self-deprecating, although I believe self-deprecating, it's a wonderful trait in an individual, and it's a great trait in a country. But I think we've never had to, in order for Canada to be good, Denmark doesn't have to be bad.
Exactly.
And that is kind of unique to Canadians. You know, if you ask Canadians who has the best trains in the world, they'll probably say, oh, Europe. But if you ask Americans who has the best trains in the world, most of them will say America.
Yeah.
Even though they've seen a Tom Cruise movie with the bullet trains in there, they still don't, well, no, we have the best ones.
Yeah, American exceptionalism, 100%. Like, that's the insanity. And then if you dare to say, no, we don't, then people like MAGA Republicans will stand up and say, oh, if you don't like it, then get out of my country. Like, the MAGA hypocrisy is both that things are extremely bad, but also we're the greatest, right? We're the number one economy ever, but also it's terrible. Except for now that Trump is president, now the economy that they claimed that was terrible before, that now is actually worse than it was before, is actually now the best economy. They just don't they don't live in reality. They don't reside in reality.
If you're in my business, if you're creating TV shows, if you're doing one-man shows, which I used to do in my early 20s, if you're writing books,
why do you hate America?
Scripts,
exactly.
It really helps if you love your subject matter. And my subject matter has always been my country. And I'm not saying it's perfect, not by a long shot. It's just that's someone else's lane.
Yeah.
I'm just, right now, It's all about celebrating. Well, I've always had a plan, and the plan was always get my own TV show. And anyone who goes into comedy or television, that's the dream. And then I was very fortunate to achieve that dream. And it wasn't my first TV show. I did a bunch of TV shows before I got that. And then when I stopped that, because it was the perfect TV show for me, I had no interest in any TV after that. And so it just made sense to write books. It just, what else was I going to do? I was sitting in my cabin in Newfoundland. There's only so much you can do in a shed.
Oh, he's from Newfoundland.
You grow a few potatoes, you write some books. The tours, I've always enjoyed doing the tours, and it's just a matter of timing. I haven't done one in a while, a stand-up tour, so it's just worked out. It has always made sense if you are a English language performer in any genre to go to the United States. That's just the reality. It is the biggest entertainment industry in the world.
We are the biggest
second
consumers,
now, but the biggest English language industry in the world, and it's right there. And so it only makes sense. And this is why so many great Canadian comedians and actors and musicians and producers and filmmakers and everything else have done well in the United States. I would never, ever in a million years criticize anyone for doing that. That's, that just makes perfect sense. Also, that's where the opportunity is. There's not a lot of real estate in this country.
Yeah, we're huge consumers. That's what we are. That was our place after World War II, was to be the world police, okay? And that's why we dumped so much money into our military. And also, China was to be the manufacturer for the world, and we were to be the consumers, and that's what we do. And so, I think I've always thought it was great that people come here to enrich their careers as entertainers, to really find a platform for the music they make or the movies they make or whatever it is. And that is something to be proud of. And this is why I think that Americans oftentimes are just being gaslit, well, always being gaslit by Donald Trump, to be honest. But oftentimes in this scenario, you're being gaslit because it's like, no, your part in this world is to work your ass off and make the country better through your blood, sweat, and tears, and then you die, and then you should just be happy that you did something for this country. That's not really what it is. We are a global economy. We are, the consumers for the globe. You send your stuff here and we will buy it. You send your best people here and we will support them, and we will make them rich. We will make them famous. The problem, of course, with all of that is that, if you don't take care of the middle class, you don't take care of the upper middle class, the lower middle class, the impoverished in this country, well, we're the ones that consume. The billionaires, those guys, have, they buy up assets, they buy up resources, they use their money for voice in government, or they buy a yacht or some other shit. But if you want to talk about the people that really legitimately support like the entertainment industry, that's us. And that is something that you can be proud of, is that like you help make other people's lives better by, buying their products, supporting their literature, supporting their music, supporting their acting endeavors. Those are all really important things.
In terms of, if you're that kid who wants his own TV show and it's 2010, if you look at the networks in Canada, you could easily go, well, I can have my own TV show because that Mercer guy got it. There's only so much real estate. And I was fortunate enough to have a piece of that real estate for a while. I mean, the industry is always changing. Everything is changing. Do you know what's never going to go away? Live theater. It's never going away because there's nothing like it. And I don't care what you watch on your phone or what you do, on all your devices. Live theater will never go away. Live comedy will never go away. And yes, we live in an era where a kid in Sudbury can start doing comedy with his cell phone and become a superstar, and that's great. And then he can go out and tour if he wants, but it's just two different things. And there are people out there who aren't that familiar with seeing stand-up because maybe they don't go to clubs, for example. But my fans, a lot of them, they like the idea of going to a theater, big fancy room, and seeing a great night of comedy. And most of them, the ones who've never done it before, will walk out and go, their minds will be blown by great stand-up.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm talking about other stand-ups, not me, by the way. But yeah, there's nothing like it.
Good thing I didn't drink right there. I think the best thing he said there, well, there's lots of really good things that he said there, but one of the things that I really enjoyed that he said there was, "This is my lane." You guys heard me talk about this before when Benny comes in here and yells at me. And I love Benny. And Benny's lane is to yell at people. So she's just doing her job. Really appreciate when Benny comes in. And she yells, you F football, F Netflix, get out and get your feet on the ground and yell at some people and make a difference. That's all really important, but that's Benny's lane. My lane has been the same lane, and I've let people kind of push me in different directions because I feel like a real responsibility to help where I can. But where I'm the most helpful is when I'm residing in my lane, and that is making fun of some of this stuff, mocking it, showing people how ridiculous it is to be a Trump supporter. To show people that they're not crazy, that most of us do agree that this is insanity and it doesn't make any sense. That is my lane. And occasionally I step outside of my lane for a little bit. I try to do some serious stuff, and it just there's plenty of serious people out there. There's Brian Tyler Cohen, there's Hassan, there's David Pakman, there's Kyle Kalinske. There's tons of people that do real good reporting on whatever your specific choice of leftism is, right? But in my lane, there's only some specific people, and our job isn't to come out here and show people how the 14th Amendment affects something, or our job is to show how crazy it is that these people are so illiterate that they talk about the Constitution but don't know what the 14th Amendment is about. That's what we're here for. You've got to have your lane, and that's why you have I've managed businesses for a very long time. When I'm managing people, I don't say this is where I'm going to put you and you just have to be here, right? What I do is I put people in positions that I think they present as being good at, and then I watch them and I see what they're good at and what they're not good at, and then if I'm wrong originally at what I think they're going to be good at, I put them in a different place. And I find the spot that they're good at, and I put them in that spot, and that's how they're the most functioning. That's how they're the most efficient. That's how they're the best. If you look at the military works with the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, the National Guard, the Marines. Each one is good at something different. Everybody has similar elements, but each one is really good at a specific thing. And within each military wing, there's individual groups that are even better. The Rangers, the SEALs. This is very important, because when you have a movement that's as large as what you see in politics on the left or right, you need to have people that are good at different things. And I don't expect this man to go out and preach on the pulpit about left-wing activism and getting out on the street, boots on the ground, shouting through a megaphone at politicians. What I want to see from him is I want to see him making fun of the things that can be mocked, that can show people exactly how ridiculous and insane this is. So I really like that. I like that he said that. In fact, I think I have something out. Marines come last, huh? Sorry, I know my uncle is if my uncle actually watched my show, which he doesn't, because he probably supports Trump. he would yell at me. He would yell at me for putting the Marines last. My grandfather, who was over 30 years in the Army, though, would be like, hell yeah, brother. Oh, thank you for the $2. Specs. Appreciate the stream. How can I help spread it? Share and share. You guys can always support me like Specs did there by giving me, a couple bucks every once in a while. It helps pay for these vet bills that I just piled up. I'm a broke ass too. So, it's always nice when people super chat. Joining the Angry Ginger Army is a couple bucks a month. I appreciate all of you guys that do that. Liking the stream, sharing the stream, commenting on the stream, being active in chat. telling people about it in real life. All of those things are fucking amazing. So I appreciate the shit out of you. Putting on a Puff Frog costume. Exactly, dude. That's, like anybody that thinks that that's like something that, isn't like a big part. Like anybody that looks like, oh, fuck those people that are in frog costume. They're not doing anything important. Like they're doing their part. They're doing their part. Your grandfather was a naval guy. A veterinarian. Girl, same. Specs. I love it. You sound my daughter all the time. I'll be saying shit. Girl, same. Tactical. It's tactical. You have to go buy groceries and gas. Good luck making it back, Golf. Good luck. So yeah, I really like Mercer. I think he's amazing. And we're gonna at one point watch a Mercer video on a stand-up that Rick Mercer did, but we don't have enough time to watch all of it today. But we've got one that we will be watching at some point. Maybe I'll watch it at the end. But first let's watch these other ones because these are the two things okay, so Mike, I know you wanted me to watch Hunter Biden videos. And I like watching Hunter Biden videos. But I just saw that Titus put out this COVID video, and we haven't watched Titus in forever. So I really wanted to watch this Titus video, and then I want to watch this IHIP video. So I want to watch these two videos before we go on to something else. So let's watch a Titus video, and then we'll get to it. Get some tattoos. You'd seem less harsh. I don't know about that. Bald white man, beard, and tattoos. I already get funny looks. I actually have one tattoo, but it's on my back and it's really small. Yeah, Hunter is actually normal. He is. Restream that's a Golf Marine. That's because Specs is over on the vertical. So anytime somebody's on Twitch, Kick, or on the vertical stream, Restream brings their comment into our comment. Technologia! You know what I'm saying? That's big stuff. Now Tia's here over there too. Thank you. Lean into it. Yeah, I probably should. Give me a nice sleeve. Maybe some head tattoos. Sorry, Specs. I think vertical stream is the one that people on phones go to, and then horizontal stream is the one that people on computers and stuff go to. It's fine. It just confuses all of our boomers. When they see the Restream bot, they don't see it's the name next to Restream bot is the person. So it's Restream bot, but then it says YouTube Specs, and that's because that's bringing that comment over here because like I said, Technologia. Okay. I can't be sorry. I'm a bald white man. I'm not allowed to apologize. Even for the goobers. More goober than a goober. Okay. So let's watch we haven't watched this guy in a long time. Let's watch some Christopher Titus talk about Fauci, because right now all of the conspiracy theorists they're doing a victory lap because of Fauci pleading the fifth, which is dumb because that's exactly what he should have done. So let's watch Christopher Titus talk about the COVID coming up. Yeah, I am calling you a boomer. Sorry, Golf. Sorry, Golf. You're X though, right? You're X. Sorry.
You are the Resistance.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever. This is Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Eggs are cheaper, but have salmonella. Measles is back like a boss, baby, and let it...
Also, just before we get into this, eggs are cheaper, but not cheaper than they were before the avian flu. Egg prices still elevated, but not as elevated as they were like 2 years ago. That's a very important addendum that I think most people should. And also they come with salmonella now. So congrats.
Eggs are cheaper, but have salmonella. Measles.
Shit. Sorry. Okay, hold on. Good job, Mike. back over here. It's because I don't have my stream deck. Okay, there we go. All right, we're starting our video over. In case you weren't here. We're starting the video over. All right. So this is Titus. Fauci exposed. Armageddon update. Talking about COVID because all the COVID conspiracy theorists are losing their mind. Okay? This time for real. This time with feeling.
You are the resistance.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever. This is Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Eggs are cheaper, but have salmonella. Measles is back like a boss, baby, and lettuce is now a butt terrorist. Making the...
A butt terrorist. Oh, I need to see that one more time. Was that generated with AI? This is what AI should be used for.
Back like a boss, baby, and lettuce is now a butt terrorist.
Oh, my God. It's a lettuce with an RFK Jr. face with an AK-47 and some toilet paper. That had to be made by AI.
Making the runs scarier than Iran. So, the CDC and the HHS is literally a shit show. And this guy is currently in charge of our health. This brainworm having, bear corpse transferring, raccoon penis collecting, vaccine denying, crystal sucking nightmare with the voice of Darth Vader using broken glass as a lozenge.
No, you will not get vaccinated.
He's the worst, most full of shit head of health and human services in the history of America, except for in the 1920s, Dr. Stabby McLeaches was possible.
Oh, I don't know. Stabby McLeaches, at least, he didn't watch YouTube for his education.
Possibly worse. Yet, after the Trump administration screwed America's COVID response so bad, we were literally stacking bodies in refrigerator trucks and the world closed for a year. Stores were empty. Well, 6 years after their countrywide failure, they went after this guy again. Now, Dr. Anthony Fauci is an American physician, scientist, and immunologist who served as the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, NIAID, from 1984 to 2022. Chief medical advisor to the president from 2021 to 2022. He was...
Yeah, and by the way, at one point, Donald Trump said about Anthony Fauci that he should go and run for, I believe, mayor in New York because he believed he'd be that popular. People tend to forget that for the first few years, Donald Trump did nothing but glaze Anthony Fauci. Like, this is the man. This is my man. You guys have no idea how good this guy is. He's the best ever, and you guys all suck. You wish you were Anthony Fauci. It's insane. And also, for all the COVID deniers out there, they're like, it wasn't even real. So, okay, how about all the people that weren't vaccinated, that got COVID, that died from it? What happened to those people? Well, you have to have some answer for that because you can't blame it on the vaccine. And if you're saying that COVID wasn't dangerous, then how did they die? It's a solid question.
One of the world's most frequently cited scientists across all scientific journals from 1983 to 2002. That's 20 years. We're after a lifetime as an immunologist and helping stop AIDS. And he's been married to the same woman since 1985.
Bro, I love that picture. That's his wife because of all the douchebags that are outside of his house. That's the kind of woman you need in your life right there. That's ride or die. Okay? That's ride or die. That lady right there, like that's a keeper.
In his time, he had positive relationship with both Democrats and Republicans and is literally considered George W. Bush a close friend. Do you know why? Because diseases, viruses, and vaccines aren't fucking political. He's been given over 40 major awards and acknowledgments from health organizations worldwide, including the National Medal of Science and the Medal of Freedom. He deserved every single one. Ask Magic Johnson. Fauci was instrumental in AIDS research, and because of him, it is no longer an automatic death sentence. But let's talk about COVID.
But these people are crazy. They believe that like he created HIV. Like one of the things I always gave George Bush was like, George Bush did a lot of bad shit. Not a great person. Made a lot of really poor decisions. But he actually did a lot of work against the AHIV virus, and like that was a really good thing. Like, you know, it's insane how many people that they've claimed have participated in the creation of HIV. Like anybody that they don't like, they're just like, he created AIDS.
Fauci was right every single time. 7 million died worldwide and 1.2 million in the United States alone. Study after study showed that the mRNA vaccine worked, and people who didn't get the vax died at a rate much higher than those that didn't have a red hat. You want the numbers? Cool, because I am fucking tired of you flat earth microchips and vaccines, chemtrail douchebags.
People who've had these shots and now they're magnetized.
Oh, I forgot about that lady. Oh my God.
People who've had these shots and now they're magnetized. And put a key on their forehead, it sticks.
I don't think I want to wait around and see if NASA's lying to me or not. I think I already know.
Here are the numbers, losers. Between April 2021 and December 2021, deaths for the vax were 22,567. That's a lot. But if you were dumb enough to think that the government was trying to shoot a 5G chip into your arm to access your PIN number, just know that the unvaccinated...
Oh no, my favorite was the one, if you guys remember the video I did, Golf probably remembers it. He's been here forever. The one that I liked was that the vaccines put a microbot into you, and then the 5G was linked to a cryptocurrency, I think, that when it was released, it was going to activate the bots inside of you, and that actually was causing women's uteruses to fall out of their bodies. Yeah. That was my son. What?
I thought you were supposed to talk about politics, Dad. What are we doing?
This is politics, brother.
Had 96,000 deaths in that time period. That means 75% more unvaccinated people died. The National Library of Medicine study says in total, 463,000 people died who wouldn't have died had they just been vaccinated. We lost 1.2 million total because of COVID. But the vaccinated versus unvaccinated death rate, it isn't an anomaly. It isn't a conspiracy. It isn't a political choice. It's science. And Dr. Fauci, who was not only instrumental in stopping AIDS, but Fauci played a prominent role in the National Institute of Health response during the 2014 and 2016 West African Ebola outbreak under President Barack Obama. People, Fauci stopped AIDS. He stopped Ebola, and he stopped COVID. He's a hero and a brilliant scientist.
And when you, here's the repercussion that I don't know if a lot of people think about this or not. And I used to say this about people that would create conspiracy theories about certain billionaires, Bill Gates and such. Like, there's lots of stuff. Anytime you talk about somebody with a lot of money that I can get on board with, but when you start like criticizing people's like donations and stuff to like their philanthropic things that they do, like taking care of kids and stuff like that, you're disincentivizing them from doing that. So if somebody says, okay, well, I want to be a good person and I want to, you know, make an impact, a good impact, and so I'm going to do this thing by donating all this money to this children's, you know, orphanage or whatever. And then you have somebody that's like, oh, the only reason he's doing that is because he gets them children brought to his house. That's how it works. Like, you're literally telling people that even being a good person isn't worth it because people are going to attack you. People are going to make you out to be this terrible person. In fact, you make it a negative to do so because if you didn't do anything at all, they wouldn't have anything to talk about. So when you have Anthony Fauci here, who goes out of his way to do these things, either because, you know, professionally he feels it's important or on a humanitarian way he feels it's important, whatever it is, but then you sit there and you make this out to be a bad thing and create all these crazy conspiracy theories about him, you make people not want to participate in helping you.
This dude wanted you to drink disinfectant.
Disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that?
I can't do that right
by injection inside or almost a cleaning.
Use a powerful light or blow a tube of horse dewormer. And because of this bloviating, racist pedophile, 500,000 preventable deaths happen. The good news is, because the people who refused the jab sadly passed, America's average IQ went up 35 points. Well, I'm a vaccine half full guy. Thank you, Dr. Fauci, for being an American hero. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. My God. Yeah, I don't want the vaccine. What, government's trying to kill us? I think COVID's trying to kill you, asshole. I don't understand this, man. How the hell are people this stupid in my timeline? The good news is COVID took out the stupid because the stupid didn't get vaccinated.
True that. I miss Christopher Titus, so I'm glad we watched it, Christopher. I needed to watch that. He's my man. I am very, very happy that we watched on Christopher Titus. And this whole thing is just crazy. Look, I've always said this. I don't think anybody's just good or bad. I'm sure Fauci has done things in his life that I disapprove of. But, you know, I'm not sitting here trying to make up a bunch of weird-ass conspiracy theories and delve deep into something to try to figure out how, you know, Anthony Fauci must. You don't need to invent things with people most of the time. Generally, there's something about their life that you can find that you disagree with. Don't have to come up with some conspiracy theorists about them creating viruses that, you know, did this or did that. You literally can just be like, I saw in 67 he's mean to his wife, and I disagree with that. Apparently it wasn't, though, because his wife 100% supports him. Oh, that's a nice look there. I like that. Got ambiance. Solid. All right, what we have? I want to watch an IHIP video before I go. How long are we be on here? Hour 50? We could do another video. We can do another. When you believe one man above science, above our intelligences, above former CIA directors and retired journalists, revered journalists. When you believe even your own eyes and ears, you are fully indoctrinated. Yes, 100%. They don't think for themselves. They're not interested in thinking for themselves. I was talking to somebody the other day, before we get to this IHIP video, which is just, it's for funs. Okay, it's for funsies, guys. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, there's like two types of people. There's people that, when they wake up, they want to be on a team. They want to know what exactly they're supposed to believe, right? Like, they wake up and they're like, I'm a conservative, so I think, you know, that taxes are bad and immigrants are bad and LGBT people are bad and any Democratic president this is bad, and then you have like religious people, same thing. They wake up in the morning, and says, something along the lines of like, yeah, God said the reason there's two genders is because God, right? Like God is the reason that there's two genders, or the reason I believe X about this thing is because my religion told me this. And and it happens on all sides. It happens with atheists as well, and it happens. It's like choosing a football team. Why is your football team good? Because it's my football team. That's why it's good. And then the second type of person is a person that wakes up that wants to know how the cogs in the machine works, right? And you look into things and you learn things and you confront your own bias, and you appreciate people correcting you and telling you when you're wrong. That type of person, it's not rewarding. Like when you're the first type of person, you can go through life feeling like, oh, everything is right and it's where it's supposed to be, and you think that God, in the end, Jesus will make it right, or Trump will make it right. Whoever you want to say you think is going to make it right. The other person doesn't wake up with that. You wake up every day and you look at facts and information, and sometimes they conflict with the facts and information that you had before, so you start to question it. You're generally, whenever you're talking, you're thinking about whether or not you're right or wrong about something. Like, it's not rewarding, but in my opinion, it's the right way to do things. Like, I watch people intentionally that I don't like, that I disagree with. Some people that I think are conspiracy theorists. Sometimes I watch people that have, conflicting political ideas from me, because at some points I hear something that maybe isn't a part of some of the policies that we disagree on, that they say, that I'm like, that's not wrong. Because I don't support that person. I don't think that person is somebody I want to give money to, or I want to give a bigger platform to. That's why I don't watch a lot of the right-wing stuff that I do watch when I'm not on stream. I watch left-wing stuff here because those are people I want to platform. But I do watch right-wing influencers. I do see right-wing content. I just don't usually platform it. And the reason I do this is because I want to see what everyone thinks. And, I've said it before, is that, like, I think, the second type of person I'm talking about is somebody that, philosophers, or very much those people that wanted to get together and just talk for 4, 5, 6 hours with no real need to reach some type of solution, agreement, or answer. Just want to talk, want to, hypothetically speak about things in an environment where you feel like you can with another person that may disagree with you. But, at the end of the day, as long as they're not crossing certain lines, when it comes to like racism and homophobia and those things, where it's like, I'm not interested in having a conversation with those people. But as long as they're not crossing those lines, you can have these conversations that can go on and on, constantly circle back to, your beginning. And, as you're doing that, you're starting to reform certain thoughts that you have about certain, topics. You change your mind on how you think about why you're pro-life. You change your mind on why you're, pro or against Biden, or pro or against Obama, or pro or against Bush, And I think the second way to live life is the right way to live life. It's to wake up in the morning and say to yourself, like, I'm a vessel. I want knowledge. I want to take in as much of it as I can, and I want to use it in a way that is beneficial, not just to me, but to everybody else. I want to be the Plato's allegory of the cave. I want to be the person that goes out and, lives the hero's journey and gets the information that feels like the fire that I'm bringing back to humanity, that I'm coming back to the cave to light the cave, illuminate the cave, and to show the other people that, like, this is something I found. Now you should leave the cave. Now you should go out. You should live the hero's journey. You should find information. And then when you come back, we combine the things that we agree on, and we debate the things that we disagree on. And, when you leave that cave and you come back, and what happened is you watch YouTube videos for 24 hours straight on conspiracy theory, and you come back and you're just like, there's no way anybody else is right. I'm the only one that's right. And there's all this crazy stuff that's going on right now. And that is... You're not illuminating the cave. You're actually darkening the cave. You're putting out other people's fire. So, who are my mods? Help them. I don't have any mods. Oh, I do have mods, don't I? I think I have a couple mods that still come on here. I don't stream enough nowadays for people to help with this. Is my restream bot going crazy? I don't know what Mike's talking about, because I'm not in that. Somebody that's over on Vertical. What is it doing to the chat specs? I appreciate you guys building me up anytime you want. But unfortunately, I spent a lot of time working. Hey, there's one of my mods. Tinkerbell's my mod. Thank you. I appreciate you, specs. Vertical is the one you can watch on phone, where it is, you can see a big me right now with a stream of chat underneath me. But Mike was in the horizontal. I don't know why. I think he's just saying there's a lot of restream bot, but I think Mike's not understanding that the stream bot is just people talking. It's not AI, Mike. Mike's a mechanic. All right, I better watch this last video before my wife divorces me. All right. Yeah, no, I appreciate you, specs. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure on how all this stuff works. I come on here, I stream, I put out videos, I suck at social media. These are the things that I do. I give my opinions and attempt to analyze things in the best way I possibly can. And then I hope that word of mouth at one point or another puts me in a place where I can help to affect positive change with people. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. All right, so let's watch this, so that way I can go do work. All right. So this video, most of you guys have probably seen just recently. Katie Miller has a little secret sex scandal, and I believe that involved the late governor candidate Eric Swalwell. And this stuff just gets weirder and weirder. So I wanted to watch this IHIP video with you guys, with Jennifer Welch and apparently Lauren Peretra. I don't know who she is. I want to know what they did with pumps. What did they do with pumps?
All right, there is some rather titillating piping hot tea dropping all over the internet. And it turns out that Katie Miller, who is just little miss judgmental, little miss, I'm going to watch Grey's Anatomy, binge watch it like a nut, and I'm going to get mad about gay characters being on there. She too has a past, as all of us do. And it turns out that she used to allegedly connect with Eric Swalwell. And here to discuss this with me is, of course, our favorite.
Yeah, Stephen Miller's wife. Yeah, Specs. Stephen Miller's wife, who also came out and said a bunch of, messed up stuff about Fauci. And then if it comes out in Fauci's journal that actually Katie Miller was like pretty much calling Fauci daily and taking advice for him, and was scared of COVID, and, all of this stuff. Like, it's just, once again, brings light to the fact that it's all a sham. These people are all grifters. They're full of shit. They behind the scenes have done all of these things that they say they don't, and then when they're in front of the cameras, they play their game, and they still MAGA Republicans money. Their Social Security checks, their welfare checks, whatever money that they get given to them, they give to Stephen Miller and Katie Miller.
Left-leaning, progressive, darling blonde, besides Kylie and Pumps,
Whose
of course,
baby is
Lauren
that?
P. Lauren, you were on the scene on this immediately. Tell my listeners what is going on here.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So bad week to be a Miller, terrible week to be a Miller. And I got to give credit to Julie Grace, and the source says she's the one that originally broke this story. And of course we just ran with it. But turns out Katie Miller has been cocking around 10 years ago with Eric Swalwell, where they had a structural relationship. And that came back up into play when Eric Swalwell was in a little bit of hot water this year.
So Swalwell, Elon Musk, and Stephen Miller. Not great.
So it seems like Katie Miller is just really the bicycle of
Cocking
DC
around.
these days.
Katie Miller has responded to this story. Pop this up. So here's Julie Grace Bruvke, who reported it. And then below, Katie Miller does not deny it, Lauren. She just simply writes, I was an intern working on Capitol Hill. And Swalwell reportedly once had a sexual relationship with Katie Miller when she interned on Capitol Hill in her 20s. His lawyers reportedly brought it up while fighting.
And importantly, I don't think she's denying any of this. Could have been caulking.
Kash Patel's push to release
Nightmare
old
rotation.
FBI files on Swalwell and Christine Fang, which they ultimately did not end up releasing. And so you may remember, like, anytime Eric Swalwell came up before his departure and fall from grace, the right wing would be like, Fang, 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 Fang. They were all about him and this Chinese alleged spy.
Okay.
And so apparently they were gunning for him. And he and his lawyers were like, you bring it up, I'm bringing up the fact that I used to screw Katie Miller, allegedly.
Well. It's like another fork found in the kitchen story. It's so surprising to all of us that these two found each other. It's like the worst people
metaphor.
ever. And can I tell you a story about Eric Swalwell really quick too?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was one of the first creators to interview Eric Swalwell when he announced his gubernatorial race.
Okay.
And I'm not really one to want to interview electeds. I think they're a snooze fest. I'm not yet established enough, or certainly wasn't at the time, to really ask some hard-hitting questions. So anyway, I have him in the studio that I was recording in at the time. My studio guy, Andy, was all jazzed. He was like, this is a big deal. we're getting Eric Swalwell in here. And I just was like, meh, but, wanted to be a good host. So I go to this donut shop in Santa Monica at the time, Holy Grail, rest in peace. They've since shuttered, gone the way of the Swalwells. But I pick up a bunch of these vegan artisanal donuts. And at the end of the interview, I offer Swalwell, I'm like, hey, this is like a really great spot in downtown Santa Monica, a local spot. Do you want to take a donut? And I offer it to him and his staffers. Eric Swalwell walks out of the studio with the entire box of donuts. And that's just really who Eric Swalwell is. Just taking all the donuts for himself, leaving no consideration for anyone else that works there that might want one. Just a weird guy. And I might not have a gaydar per se, but as a straight, I definitely have a strong creep radar, and I could smell it from the moment I interacted and crossed paths with him. Because this man, I used to think he was a state senator because I was like, who's this guy? He was following me before I had any audience. And I was like,
I don't even want to know what he was doing. I don't want to know why he was following. Nope. Oh, thank you for the $2 specs. Appreciate that. Swalwell had an eye patch. Ask St. Elon baby mama. The Elon baby mama lady, I'm still on the fence there. I don't know. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. But, just like the Cohen, Michael Cohen, all of the people that kind of leave MAGA and kind of come over on the left, for sure, I actually believe a lot of stuff she says about Elon because, she probably could be sued for anything in a defamation trial that she was saying that was wrong. But whether she's doing that for the right reasons or not is a whole nother question. Dude, Elon, Stephen Miller, Eric Swalwell. Once again, I'm just going to say that one more time.
Like, oh, that's an interesting man to be engaging with my content. You trying to slide in. It was just, he gave me the heebie-jeebies from day one or day zero, really.
I met him. He was on our podcast, but he came to New York with his wife, who was lovely, really, really a lovely person. And it was a very normal interaction. And she's just, I can't say enough great things about her. And I send her all the love on the planet because she has, small children and she's a victim in the whole thing too.
Totally.
But I agree that, that's really creepy that he's following you and then stealing all the donuts, the level of entitlement there. Which, speaking of entitlement, I want to go back down memory lane and take a look at Katie Miller.
Lauren Peretra. I think I'm sure I'm saying her name completely incorrectly. But I've never seen her before. From what she's saying, it sounds like she works for some media company or she has a podcast of her own or something like that. I've never seen her, and this is no shade. No shade. I am not trying to demean this woman at all, but I would like Pumps back. I'm sorry, but Pumps is my favorite. So no shade, Lauren, but it just, I want Pumps back.
Responses to the Swalwell scandal as it broke when his gubernatorial campaign imploded. So pop this up. Katie Miller writes, as someone who doesn't normally believe all women, which...
Great way to start.
That's a weird way to start.
I believe her and the many lined up behind her. Eric Swalwell's behavior was the worst kept secret on Capitol Hill. I'm positive she was not the only intern.
That's a really strange thing to say.
Furthermore, what do you call him? Stephen Little Bitch Miller? Is that your nickname for him?
Yeah, it's his God-given name.
All right. This girl's doing just fine. She's doing just fine. A little help from Jen, but she's doing just fine. Did Pumps quit? No, I think this is just like special guest kind of stuff.
Really rolls off the tongue.
Well, here's Little Bitch right here. After the gubernatorial campaign imploded and all of the victims came forward. And I want you to watch this with my viewers. Here's Stephen Miller with Miss Press, Jesse Waters. And they're talking about Swalwell. And now that we know what we know, take a look at it through
Miller
that
and
lens.
Waters.
Play the clip, Kylie.
Look, Swalwell is a scumbag. He is a terrible person, the worst of the worst, the lowest.
Look at these two dudes for just like 1 second. What did I see the other day? I saw some lady leave this comment on it was a video of Elon Musk dancing, and she said, "My vagina just made the Windows 92 shutdown sound." That like this, there is just like, this is the type of content that women should avoid, because this could have lifelong repercussions on your libido. Like seeing these two men on your screen at the same time, you might swear off sex for the rest of your life.
Of the low, the most dishonest, and the most dishonest. But the real story here is how the Democrat Party controls its members through blackmail. It's got a blackmail file on all of its politicians, and it uses them to leverage and control them until it's time to release it.
I think the people that were getting blackmailed was you and Katie.
Wife,
I think
dude.
that's
Your
what the reporting
wife.
is saying.
Yeah, I mean, we really deserve this moment. We've been through enough as a
procreating.
society,
Not
so
good.
really just watching bad things happen to terrible people, it's beautiful. And if I was Stephen Miller, instead of
100%,
being like an
Cindy.
angry,
100%.
hard-boiled egg going crying to Jesse Waters, I would be getting a paternity test, because there's something in the water there,
Roxanne.
Stephen Little Bitch Miller, and I would want that checked out.
Have you noticed that despite that, in addition to her going on and on about Grey's Anatomy, her
Jen's very upset about her watching Grey's Anatomy and dissing it. That is amazing. This all kind of makes a lot more sense when you think about the fact that Peter Thiel was, telling all these people in a secret hotel meetings about how to fix their sex life. Like, Peter Thiel is just like sitting there with Katie Miller, and he's like, you know what you should do? You should sleep with Eric Swalwell. He needs somebody to sleep with. And then after that, maybe try Elon Musk, and, then maybe you go back to your husband, Stephen Miller, after all of that. And then maybe you guys will be back to procreating. Like, that's the type of advice I'd imagine is getting given at the sex cult. Also, amazing pause right there on Lauren. Amazing pause.
Twitter feed, Katie Miller's, is such a love
ever
story in defense of Elon Musk. I have never seen somebody defend Elon Musk the way Katie Miller does. And to me, that's something that needs to be investigated, because it's just, number one, Elon Musk is such a unlikable person. Of course, Katie Miller likes him. But have you seen these tweets where she's just going hard in the paint? Like, when anybody goes after Elon, she's the first to his defense.
Oh yeah, she was tweeting about him on Mother's Day and defending Tesla.
Bro, she wants some billions. She wants those billions so bad.
So it's like, okay, he's really top of mind for you there. And the chemistry between the two of them made me want to vomit into a cup when she had him on her podcast. She was like speaking softly. They were like whispering back and forth to one another. It was like, what in the hell are we watching here? Please take it offline. My God.
No, it's really, really.
I agree.
Weird shit. And the fact that, how many kids did they have? 3 or 4?
Too many.
Too many.
I think it's 3. And she was pregnant like all of last year. She gave birth in June.
Yeah,
so she was
his fourth
pregnant
kid.
9-10 months. So she's been pregnant for a while, this woman.
Yeah. And as it pertains to Katie Miller jumping in this thing, don't you think it's interesting that the Republicans can call out Eric Swalwell, whichever he should be called out? I mean,
Totally.
you have a choice. If you want to be a philanderer and an alleged sexual abuser, you don't have to be in public office.
No.
And when you are, or in any state, you should be called out. But the fact that Katie Miller refuses to call out anybody in Trump's orbit that are all cankles deep
It is quite TMZ.
in this Epstein ring is just really stunning to me. And at the same time, talks about family values.
Yeah, she really is digging herself deep in this one, because Katie Miller, like, how are you going to call out Eric Swalwell for banging his interns and abusing his power when you were participating in?
Yeah, that's the part that's like, just like I said, end of the day, it's the same shit, same story, different politician, just, family values, or LGBT people are the enemy and the grooming people. And it's like all these people end up in the Epstein files. all these people end up being, adulterers. Like, and very few people, and this is why politics is so frustrating. There's very few people out there that you're ever going to find that you can vote for, that you feel good about, that once they get into power, that don't become corrupted individuals. I mean, I think that's what makes, Bernie who he is. Bernie is like such a wholesome figure, a person, who protested for human rights and did the damn thing, and, got out there and seems as though he's a good person. El Sayed, I just watched his commencement speech for Michigan. Just a normal dude. Just seems like a good guy, and the grossness. What was that guy's name? Madison Cawthorn? Was that the Republican in the wheelchair that claims that when he got into office that like Matt Gaetz and all these other guys are trying to get him to go to like sex parties and all this stuff? Like, his telling of what it was like to be a politician, and I don't know if that's just, his experience with Republicans or if he had any experiences with the Democratic Party as well. It just seems like that is like the behind the scenes, right? And it's just gross. It makes you feel like there's no hope. It makes you feel like, when you finally get to like anybody as far as a politician goes, that you're depressed because you think that eventually they're going to, become a part of all of that shit and they're going to become corrupted. And that's why it's like so important nowadays to support like the really good people that have proven themselves, that have shown, like I said, no human being is perfect. No politician is perfect. We're just asking, like, bare minimum, like, don't, like, abuse your interns. By the way, Swalwell, Democrat, okay? Don't abuse your interns. Don't be a weirdo and call out, things and say things online and then behind the scenes participate in those very things. Like, that's all we're asking for. These are very, very low bars. Very low bars.
That yourself by banging Swalwell consensually, it seems. So I don't think this is the last we're going to be hearing of this. I think this is just scratching the surface of Katie Miller's web.
No, of course it doesn't surprise me.
Cucking around. I really do. I think that this is like...
She really likes that word, cocking around. I have never heard the term cocking around used before, but I know it now.
we're starting to get a little toe dip in the pond, but there's going to be more, I'm sure.
Toe dipping in the cocking around.
Because she's married to Stephen Miller.
Exactly. That's what I go back to.
I'm not sure it is a real person.
Somebody who, you said this once when you were on my podcast before, that she's with him on purpose. I mean, she intentionally wants to be with him. She picked him, and then she chose to.
Like you said, I'm thinking she must do like a little TMZ, because this is very TMZ, right? This IHIP, Jen obviously just having a good time, and I support her and her having a good time with this subject, and that's exactly why I watched it, because I wanted to see Jen and Pumps talk about this, but that's okay. I know they brought this girl on because she's probably the one that broke the story or whatever, and once again, like I said, not doing a terrible job, but like not really my style of content. I'd rather see Pumps up in here.
Read with him 3 times. She's tripled down on this decision. And with the way she likes to use her children as accessories, I predict that she'll probably get pregnant again soon, because this whole regime, when it gets to like Usha Vance and Caroline Leavitt and Katie Miller, they fancy themselves as like Mrs. Waterford from The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, they see themselves as vessels for birthing and nothing more, and it gives a whole new meaning to see.
But I don't think that they do. That's, once again, I disagree with that. I think that that's what they project as being what they believe, that they're just vessels for giving birth and stuff like that. I think behind the scenes, these women, Stephen Miller's wife, JD Vance's wife, Elon Musk claims he has a girlfriend. I don't believe that. I'll believe Elon Musk has a girlfriend about the same time as I believe that Asmongold has a girlfriend. Okay. not willing to believe either one of those things, but I actually believe that behind those scenes, they're doing exactly what they want to do. They're making people think that they're trad wives and they just good moms that just have kids and support their husbands. Bullshit. Katie Miller would leave Stephen Miller's ass at the drop of a hat if she could go get more money from Elon Musk. Believe me.
Stephen Miller's little like birthright bullshit.
Pounce is on vacation.
Like maybe you should focus a little bit less on everyone else's business, Stephen Miller, and focus on your own wife and who she might be birthing.
I don't think he wants to.
Seems.
Let me ask you this. Katie Miller, if you saw her on an airplane and you thought she had a really cute, like you and I are traveling together and you thought she had a really cute purse. You said, see that lady over there that has the purse. Would you describe her as Caucasian?
You know, it depends on like the spray tan shade she had at the moment. Because a lot of people in my DMs and comments seem to reject the idea that she is white because she may present as a little like ethnically ambiguous. According to the internet, she's Ashkenazi Jew, but I don't know. It's hard to say. It probably depends on the day and the shade of spray tan, because she really does seem to be a chameleon when it comes to how she wants to present as a person.
I always just find it fascinating that Stephen Miller is such an unapologetic white supremacist. And his wife, per the Kavanaugh rule, the new rule per the Supreme Court, ICE can pull somebody over or detain them based on a suspicion that they might not be American. She would be, if somebody said, we were on this hypothetical plane ride, you said, see that kind of Mexican looking woman there? I'd be like, oh yeah, I do like her purse. If you described her as, Honduran or El Salvadorian or whatever, I would completely believe that. And I just think it's really, I just think it's really interesting that the white supremacist, J.D. Vance, the white supremacist, Stephen Miller, they're both with these ethnic women, which good for them, but also why do you oppose DEI and why can't you condemn?
Well, because once again, I think that these people are the biggest traitors, like not only to other people, but to themselves. I think that J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller's just Stephen Miller. That motherfucker's just straight up racist. But like J.D. Vance, I don't think that J.D. Vance has morals. Like, I think that J.D. Vance, just like Papa Trump for him, his Big Daddy Trump, I think that it's whatever the people want from him. Whatever the followers, the cult members, whatever they're asking for, he's willing to say that's what he believes and that's what his moral values are. And so when these people are racist and say that they want all immigrants kicked out of the country, when they say that white people are being replaced, when they say that religion is, being persecuted in the United States of America, I don't think that J.D. Vance has to like legit believe any of those things himself. I think he just says, yeah, that's exactly what I believe too. I believe the same thing as you. So to me, it's not really that crazy that J.D. Vance can go out in public and say, yeah, we got to get rid of all these immigrants. And then at the same time have like legit a woman that's an immigrant as his wife. Like to me, it doesn't actually clash, because I don't think that J.D. Vance has a personality. I think that he really wants to he's an open vessel that wants to be felt like he wants to feel like he's important. I've said this to you guys before. We come from similar backgrounds. I think that he just wants people to show him the love that his parents never showed him. I think that he's used, and this is no excuse for his behaviors, by the way. You have a choice. You can break the cycle. But I think he's used by people like Trump. I think he's used by people like Stephen Miller and the rest of them. And if white supremacy is what ends up being what makes him popular with the group of people that follow him, then that's what he's going to do. And the fact that the people that follow him then shit on his wife, well, that's just a small price to pay for J.D. Vance to be loved.
Nazi group chats and stand up for your mixed race kids.
I know. I also love thinking about that moment when they were run out of their Arlington community by sidewalk chalk that said DEI matters and all people belong here. And they were Katie Miller went and put a video out online and was horrified by the harassment on the street. And it's Katie Miller, people, they're pepper spraying kindergartners right now. Read the room, honey. They're pulling parents off the street and you're You're mad that somebody says all lives, belong here in sidewalk chalk
she almost said all
outside
lives
of your
matter.
home. Grow up. And I don't think they would even care if it happened to them. I think if it when shit finally hits the fan, because it inevitably will, we're watching the cards fall now with all the worst people ever getting all the worst things happening to them. They're just gonna, find another excuse. They're just spineless. They don't care about anyone but protecting their own proximity to
I was
power.
gonna say they want to protect their bubble.
Can you imagine that that's your ambition? If you're Stephen Miller or if you're Katie Miller, is to be close to Donald Trump's ridiculous form of power. I mean, this, at a minimum, bisexual, washed up old queen that donned a wig the other day, that's your, these people are these people in their 30s and like this, or late 30s. And this is what you want to do in your life, is suck up to an half dead 80-year-old
Nazi
queen. Yeah. Yeah, it's just fascinating. All right. Well,
no way to
thanks
live.
for hopping on last minute with
Thanks
me
so much.
to share this.
Anytime.
Buy Jennifer Welch's book. I'm going to say it first. She does. Buy Jennifer Welch's book. Love my IHIP ladies. I wish Pumps was here, though. I'm sorry, Lauren, but I wish Pumps was here. But, what we need to realize with what's going on here when they talk about this is that there is no level that is too low for these people to continue to be within Trump's circle of trust, right? As Dan said, good old Shady Vance used to say that Trump could be Hitler. This could be America's Hitler. You probably could find something from, Katie Miller at some point that said something negative of Donald Trump. Lindsey Graham talked negatively about Donald Trump. I'll tell you this, one person who stayed 10 toes down, old Turtle Man, who I'm pretty sure they are still stuffing his corpse into the voting booth and just making him slam his hand on the red button to say he votes yes on things. Turtle Man, very angry when Donald Trump, I think Donald Trump called his wife ugly. Right? That shit hurt Turtle Man's feelings. Turtle Man was like, fuck your couch. And then JD Vance fucked it. But yeah, Marco Rubio, one other person that really kind of stayed 10 toes down was Chris Christie. But most of these people, they're just depraved, man. They're people that will do anything for money. They'll do anything for power and connections and to feel important. And, if it means like being a white supremacist, if it means being just a dog shit human being, if it means like saying the worst possible things that you can possibly say, they'll do it. Because if they don't do it, then they can't be part of the group. And, that's their purity testing. On the left, the purity testing, tends to be more about, like human rights or, hot topics, the disagreements on semantics. Purity testing tends to be, a little bit, purity testing, in my opinion, on any level is not great unless it's like something like, don't be a racist piece of dog poo or don't be super fucking homophobic dog poo. But purity testing on almost any other level, it's not great because it causes all kinds of fractures within your group. And, it's good to debate. It's good to criticize. It's good to have these things, but generally pure testing bad. Purity testing within Trump's circle of trust is the worst because it's like, you have to be a gnarly human being. You have to be a disgusting human being to say the things that they say and just walk away being like, whatever, it's what I have to do. This is how I make money. This is how I get power and connections. It's the same reason that I feel really gross about watching certain influencers, whether they be on the left or the right, that just like pour into some, subject that they know is just like morally just not, it's not good for humanity, man. It's not bringing us up. It's not producing anything, it doesn't feel good. And these people can't possibly, if they walk away after doing the shit that they've done and they still feel good, that's mind boggling to me. It's a trait that I don't have, and it feels gross. Yeah, I mean, Dan, we can get into that, and we can talk about where I think it's the right place to purity test on that, and where I think that, I think that there's some semantic fights that people have over shit that I think are stupid. I think that if you can agree that atrocity is bad, that, what is going on in Gaza is a fucking atrocity, like, I think that that's room to educate. I think that that's a window of opportunity. If somebody's denying the atrocities that are going on in Gaza, I think that that's not acceptable. So, yeah, I think that there's a lot that can be talked about. And of course, you bring it up at the end of my show. Like, one hell of a way to... anyways, some people's values are clearly for sale. Rubio hated Trump too. Yeah, he's. The funny thing about Rubio, and you're bringing that up now. You have to bring up these things that are talking points for me to talk about right as I'm trying to get off, Dan. Marco Rubio. Yeah, the one thing you say about Marco Rubio, I'm not a fan of Marco Rubio for being the fucking clown shoe that he is, but he's the reason he gets given all the jobs that Trump gives him is because he's the only actual capable person in that administration. They're like, Marco Rubio is a damn. I don't even. This is a metaphor I don't want to make, or an analogy I don't even want to make, but I'm going to make it. So don't burn me at the stake, okay? Don't burn me at the stake for making this analogy. Marco Rubio is a smart kid doing the group project. He's the kid that all the other kids are like, dude, did you put together those slides? The kid that's like, hey guys, I was hoping that, maybe you guys thought about who you wanted to put in place in Venezuela. And they're like, you're going to be the person in place in Venezuela. Like, yeah, but I'm already like the guy that's operating the board of peace. And also, I'm also the guy that's trying to like negotiate the Iran peace talks. And they're like, yeah, you got it. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a bitch. Sub for the books on your shelf. Thank you, Chronic. I'm a lover of stories. I like talking about stuff. People like Ivanka and Kushner saw that beautiful wildlife flourishing island in Albania and think, let's fuck that up. Yeah. Well, they need an island to escape to, and apparently Epstein's island already got sold to somebody else. And the project got a D-. Dan. Dan. These are things I like to talk about. Now you guys are making me talk about it while I'm trying to get off the stream. Marco Rubio, new president of Venezuela, envoy to Putin. He needs like one of those Khaleesi type names, or one of those Game of Thrones, first of his name, firstborn of the Andals or whatever. He needs one of those. We need to come up with a long name for Marco Rubio and all of his jobs now. We actually probably, hot take, guys, hottest of takes, we probably owe Marco Rubio. This shit might be a lot worse if Marco Rubio isn't in there. Okay? You guys look D-, but it could be an F. All right, Dan? Like, saying D- means that it could have been worse. And that's probably true. Like, if there wasn't a little Marco involved, imagine. Like, this train might have went off the rails already. I mean, it is off the rails, but currently we're just trundling along next to the track. Like, people are like, the train's not supposed to be off the tracks. And we're like, well, it is. It is. Okay. But it could have been an F. You know what? We're gonna, just for funsies, guys. I'm gonna play this because I haven't played this in a long time, and I want you guys to see this. This is how we're getting the stream. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I want to ask the question: is it illness, or is it education?
blow the milk at your tea, put the rustle up your quite too hot for TV, but too ugly for the voice, screaming, yeah, the fucking boys. Cheat up on the tins, month on the binge, the monks all up in your minge, these cunts wanna whinge. Shit in your hands and clap, give me your mixtape, man, I don't even listen to rap, but I do tracks, get you bouncing lad and hit the town, get down with an ounce of rack, it's like that, swinging like I don't know what, my jaw sticking out like it's been photoshopped, with a flow so hot, it's hard to keep chill, but it ain't that hard to be real, I just say what I feel, and I do this cause I wanna never do it for the deal, nah, I do it for the come up, mud running with my brothers, run amok until the sun up, some crazy motherfuckers meet the devil, I'm his cousin, we're the boys from the bush and we're back in town, the front wheels go up and the panties drop down, sounds underground so we're ripping it up, you're in lockdown, we out here living it up.